Hey, this is Rocky from WeLearnChess.com, and just wanted to show you how to change your theme if you like to play on Chess.com. Again, no affiliation there, but I just like to play here. So go to your Home tab and Account, and I'm sorry, Home and Profile, or you can click on Profile here. Either way works. And then over here on the right, you should see some edits here. Click on Theme. And there's a bunch that they're a little annoying to sift through because you can sort them in a few different ways. I usually put it on create date just to get the newer ones first, and then you click on the preview button and see which one you like. A lot of them are so crazy, like that one's actually kind of cool. But yeah, you can see different ones. And then which one did I have here? I had something on the first. I think I lost the one. Yeah, they don't always come up in the same way. So alright, well, I'll get a different one here. And see if we can't find something. The pieces look cool there, but I need something where I can kind of just ignore it. Although this one looks pretty cool. I don't know if this would, let me see. What you can do is, after you like it, if you want to put use there, then you want to go to live chess and see how it looks there. Because if it's really distracting, then whatever. This is actually kind of cool. And actually the board settings that I chose kind of match with it. Alright, maybe I'll leave this one for now. So then you can go to your settings tab here, or I like to go to it actually in the through the account and live chess settings, because you can see the previews here. And these are the pieces and things like that. I like these alpha pieces. These are fun. There's another one. Let's see. I was using before. I guess some of the ones that would fit better with my theme or something else, but whatever. I think I was using modern ones. Oh, that's the ones that show on the computer chess if you play versus computer. But I just like these alpha ones. Let's see. And I put this stone one before, which I haven't actually played with. I usually was trying to use something really simple and not distracting, but I'll try to mess around with this theme for now. But these are the board colors, so you can see the previews here. Oh, actually, that's not bad. That might be easier to see, actually. Alright, let me see what that looks like in live chess. Yeah, that's actually a little easier to see, so maybe I'll do that here. I have the huge board size, so I'm on a desktop with like this really big monitor, so actually I think it really helps play, because I play on all different stuff. Playing on my phone is usually a bad idea. But since we're on here, let's get a game and see. I actually got my new highest rating ever in Blitz yesterday. It's kind of a fake rating because I played this guy 7 times and I won all 7 games, but really he should have won about 4 of them. But he was playing just so slowly. I don't usually play on time, but I was ready to get my new highest rating, so I had to try. So I got a few, like 3 or 4 cheapos there. So now the composition should be tough. I kind of expect to drop down to about 100 points, but let's see. So we have a Nimzo. I think this is Sir Rubinstein. I'm not sure of all the different names of the variations, but this one's supposed to be pretty solid for white. I feel like there's ways. This is a little bit slow, but it's really solid. So I think there might have been some way to try to play a little more aggressively than that. I think in these lines too, like sometimes my opponents, they intentionally won't play a3 because they know that I want to take on c3. So one idea could have been, instead of d6, to play rook e8, and then if he ever does castle and not play this, I could always drop my bishop back. So this is interesting here. So he blocked off his queen, which was protecting this g4 square. And I almost wonder if I could play knight g4, but he could just castle, and then, after queen h4, castles queen h4, he could just play h3. I don't think I really have anything there. So, I could play for bishop b6. It's actually a pretty fast time control for me, so I probably shouldn't spend too much time thinking. After I've played like some 15-minute games, sometimes what there? f3. Okay, well, I guess I could say I provoked that. I don't know if it's really the best. I could play for a quick e5, actually. Now that my bishop's bad anyway, if he pushes, I'm going to have to reroute it. But maybe I should play my knight here first. I do have to be careful. Sometimes white just moves this knight, and the bishop has nowhere to go and nothing to attack. Although now I'll be able to drop it back here with check. That's kind of interesting. I don't think I've ever been able to make that move. So let's try it. I've played the Nimzo tons of times, and I don't think I've ever had my bishop on the square. Kind of nice. Alright, so I don't have the doubled pawns to attack, and I don't have a lot of space, so I wonder if I should try to play for c6, actually. I don't think that would help. He probably just wouldn't take it. Another plan might be to play for f5, so something like play the knight over here, maybe. And let's see if I could take advantage of some of the dark squares. Wow. That is aggressive. So if I play the knight over, he wins a pawn, right? Is there any way I can leave it there? Queen h4 takes the knight. There's nothing. I don't have anything. Let's see. Knight f4 just really loses a pawn, huh? Okay, so maybe that wasn't such a good idea. Although, I mean, he has a huge amount of space, but at the same time, his pieces are kind of clumsy too. So let's see now. He wants to bring the knight into f5. I don't know if I can really stop that. I'm just going to try to reroute my pieces a little bit here and get into better squares. The only problem with h6 is that when he does play knight f5, I can't play g6. At least not for a long time. Okay, so knight g4, just h4. f5 he's got covered, so yeah, he's really done. So I could... let's see. Queen f6. I mean, I guess he wants to play h4, h5 anyway. Or h4, probably g5. So maybe that knight's actually gonna serve some purpose there. I could try to reroute my bishop. Rook e8, and then maybe reroute this knight up to the square here. It's a lot of moves though, and the rook on e8 kind of stinks after a while. I wonder if I could play g6 now, maybe just keep this knight out, and then he can just take it with his bishop. That stinks. Okay, so running low on time here and not a lot of ideas. Okay, for lack of ideas, I'm going to try to reroute this knight here. I wonder, yeah, maybe on g6. I guess he'll play, he could play h4, h5 to stop that, but I gotta move here. Now if I played knight f5, he can take it, but he doesn't immediately win the pawn. And I might be able to get some pressure on the dark squares, so let's see here. I don't know if this is a great idea, but he really has. So now I wonder about g5. That would really weaken my king. g5 takes. Okay. Well, if he takes this, I probably will eventually lose the pawn. And I probably shouldn't give up this bishop. But at least I'll have to get rid of this really annoying knight to do it. I've got to do something with my bishop. Maybe I should have considered g5, takes, just to solidify that pawn and not give up this bishop. And then maybe just bring this bishop over to get rid of this. Now he probably will take it. Really? Okay, now, I mean, I understand he wants to play this pawn move, but maybe I can break open the, just totally break open this position here. I mean, he's weakened his king, so, I mean, now if he plays e5, okay, he can get a check, but maybe just knight takes, g4 takes, bishop takes. I don't know if I get there fast enough with my attack. What about bishop takes? I like having the knight there. Let's just try this here and see if I get something out of it. Alright, so maybe queen f6 first. Where do attack at. Queen f6, maybe to threaten f3. Okay. Solidify that knight. Oh, actually, I'm so silly. I had a really nice check there. Well, I still do, actually. I'll probably see it now. But I don't know if I really want to get rid of that knight for that bishop, although having the knight on e5 and just kind of enforcing his king back out. Okay, but he's got to bring his king in now. Check. Am I going to win this knight? He can't go here. I mean, I've got to open up my king to do this, so this isn't great. And I'm just getting the piece back. It's not like I'm winning a piece, so... Let's see, takes. Check. There's got to be something I got to get this king onto a square where I can check it with the knight and maybe grab a fork somewhere, maybe even a fork with the queen. Let's see, the queen is on a forking square, so if I could get the king to... Yeah, he just wants to take that, and it's understandable. Although if he takes it now, I'm going to get a nice pass pawn. Okay, so let's see if I can get him onto a forking square. Wow. This can't be good. There's got to be a mate somewhere here. Okay. This got to be... Wow. Can't believe he got away with that nonsense. Okay. He's going to be able to take that with the rook. But then I wonder if I can mate him. Check. Yeah, check. That would be mate, so we can't take it, actually. Still got a minute of time here. This was, yeah, that was a messy game, actually. I'm sure that I didn't deserve to win that, but, okay, so I'm back here, and I got the computer analysis back. And, yeah, a couple things. Actually, this game was a little better than I thought. I actually didn't blunder in this game. I think there's a page on chess.com where it shows you what their computer considers as a blunder, an accuracy, and a mistake. If I remember correctly, I think a blunder is like a change in the evaluation by 2 points, a mistake by 1 point. I could have that wrong. An accuracy, I'm not really sure. Maybe it's just when you're out of theory, or when it changes by half a point or something. I'm not sure. I'll have to look for that, and if I find the link, I'll stick it below the video. Let's see what happened here, actually, because I thought that he totally outplayed me. I mean, this is not called the Rubinstein. I know there's some Rubinstein where e3 counts as a Rubinstein, but maybe it's with some other move order. So anyway, white has a slight advantage out of the opening. That's not really a surprise. So let's see what happens here. So I didn't totally screw it up yet. It just felt like he had a huge space advantage, and I didn't really have great squares for my pieces, but I guess the computer agrees with my initial thought, was that he didn't quite have a great way to break through or place his pieces either. So the computer liked better than this maneuver was to put the king on h8 and actually put the king on g8. But these maneuvers are I have actually tried stuff like that before. I don't really like to play this way, where all my pieces are passive. I'm more of I try to play a little more for the initiative whenever possible, but I do tend to get pretty good positions out of the Nimzo, so I've stuck with it. But maybe I should look at something like the Dutch or something a little more attacking. But the game's pretty drawish here, and as it turns out, what I played actually wasn't too bad. So yeah, this here, again, they wanted different maneuvers, but I'll move up to a spot where the mistakes are a little bit more serious from both sides. Yeah, here I actually thought about this during the game, that before I had moved my bishop up, I should have just played to get rid of this knight. I didn't like the idea of losing the pawn, so I guess that's why I didn't go for that. But yeah, just playing on the weak dark squares anyway, it's hard for him to attack that bishop, so it kind of has an outpost without even being supported by a pawn, at least for now. So I guess that's the computer's point. So okay, yeah, I thought this is what was going to happen in the game. This is the other variation given by the computer, but he didn't take it, which is really interesting, and that I don't know if I mentioned it in my live commentary, but it did seem like a mistake here to just leave that bishop there. I mean, with these weak dark squares, it's interesting. So yeah, he's starting to go wrong here. I mean, he he has liked these pawn pushes all through the game, right? I mean, he had them in the opening. He pushed even further, pushed f3, pushed his king pawns. Now he's pushing his queen side. So he really likes to play for the space advantage, and I think for the most part he succeeded. But here, I guess it gets a little off track. This is interesting because it's an inaccuracy for me to take on with the bishop here, but only because the computer wanted me to take on b4 first. Otherwise, it's the right move, and the evaluation doesn't drop that much. So it drops from about 2 to closer to 1. So, but this was still an interesting idea, just to break through and get an attack. So I'm actually, according to the computer, winning here. I mean, almost -3 is yeah, it's basically winning. And this here is where I did make a mistake, and I had thought about queen f6, but I thought about it too late, where I had to defend this pawn first and just get another piece in the attack, and then it probably would have been over quicker. But I gave up this pawn, and it's, as it turns out, he shouldn't take it anyway. But yeah, because I could have just taken his other knight, which I didn't even see that in the game. I mean, I didn't even think about it at all, because I was so focused on his king and just opening it up, and I saw that this would draw his king in, so I just didn't even consider any other move. I don't even know what my time was at this point. I don't think it was so low that I couldn't have taken a few seconds to look around, but still, this was interesting. So I'm still down a piece here as opposed to already having a piece, and I could have had a piece and his king would still be in the middle. That's the big difference. So anyway, his king does come in, and now it's a big problem. So he's understandably making some mistakes. I mean, I think when you're under attack, it's easy to. So and I make some mistakes with my attack. There's a cool mate here that I didn't see. So yeah, there's already a mate. So this is actually a slower mate, but a faster mate, which of course I wasn't looking at mate even this way. I was just seeing how I could. I can't see mates in 7 at this point. I mean, I miss mates in 1 a lot of times. So you know, mate in 7's too much. But the idea here was that oops, this is a pretty cool mate just to show. So the idea is forcing the king back, and then getting sort of this weird version of a smothered mate on the side of the board, which I think I might have been able to do once in a different way. But yeah, this is really crazy. But yeah, forcing the king back here and then playing for this sort of smothered mate with the king and the queen in the corner, and then after the block you get this this cool mate here. I actually did have a I did have kind of a similar idea in a recent game where I was playing against the King's Gambit, and I got sort of a mate where the knight moved to the back rank, moved off, and then I mated with the queen. I'll have to see if I can find that right after this. But anyway, okay, so the line that I chose is still a forced mate, but it's I didn't play the right moves, of course. That's correct. And it's funny, his moves, that, you know, I thought he was wriggling out of it, but it's true that after this he's just lost. So yeah, king f7 is the correct move here, and then there's no way for him to stop mate, so that's why he resigned. Just one of these rooks is going to come and deliver the mate. I have 2 of them, so even if he tries to do something to stop it, then he won't be able to. So that was actually a pretty cool game. I mean, I honestly thought that I must have blundered earlier because it just felt like my position was so bad, but I didn't really do too bad there. So let's see if I can quickly find. I actually played a few more games against this guy, and he totally wrecked me in the next 2 games. And then actually the 4th game was kind of cool. Also, we made a bunch of mistakes, and he outplayed me here. He was playing these Najdorfs where this bishop g5 is really super sharp, and I know the theory sort of up to here. See, we're still in book here, and I guess king b1 isn't book, but I mean that's about 10 moves in. So the only thing is he plays these lines where he doesn't castle, and it's really interesting because it's actually really hard to break this down because he's got so much defense in front of his king, but it just feels so slow. So I have to look this up and try to figure out what to do against these non-castling lines in the Najdorf, and if I learn something, I will share it. Yeah, I just slowly got outplayed here, and get to a position where I'm just totally lost, and I really wanted to play knight d5 after b4, and then takes, but I didn't have my rook on e8, because if you do that and the recapture of the lost piece comes with a check, and you get both your rooks in here, and then also your bishop gets open, I mean, then and that's pretty interesting. I don't know if it really would work in that situation, but I didn't have my rook on e8, and I didn't want to have to play that without a tempo. The cool thing would be that it would be hard for he wouldn't be able to play bishop e6 in those situations until he got rid of this pawn on d5. So he wouldn't really have a good defender on that square. But anyway, my idea was to bring the knight around and exploit this pin because he hasn't castled, so his pawn's pinned to the rook still, and get the knight all the way over here to get rid of this bishop. But the problem is that it took so long for me to do this that I was just losing. And here this was just a losing move. The knight's just hanging, but he was also looking at mates, so it's understandable that he didn't see it. So then, because of that, actually, I mean, I'm still totally lost, but now I do get this recapture of the check, so you see this sack here. And it's funny, I mean, he's still totally winning, but these Najdorf games with these opposite side castlings, and especially with bishop g5, they're so super sharp that you could be winning in one move and losing in another pretty quickly. So I took here just to get myself a move where I wasn't immediately mated, and he has ways to save these, to just kind of force queen trades and stuff, and it's all over. But it got really interesting here, and then he played this seemingly innocent move here, and if you want to try to stop the video and find the move here. But okay, if you took a moment or not, I'll show the continuation now. So yeah, the first move here is the rook sack, which I found in the game, and then I didn't find the cleanest way to mate here. I mean, my idea at first was to play this rook check, just because this at least forces the king this way, and then I'll be able to come in with the queen. So it's actually a mate in 3 here, which I mean, I saw the correct moves, but then I missed this mate with the bishop here. And I had thought about getting him onto a light square too. I was even thinking to myself, I gotta get him onto a light square, so I could do that. So that's the first mate that I missed. Mate in 1. And then here I also had mate in 1, which was just queen f8. And then I found it. Afterwards I realized my mistake. But yeah, that was a pretty interesting way to save the game. I mean, he's really sharp, but of course I was totally lost. So and I'll see if I can find quickly this, I think it was this King's Gambit game here against some guy I played a bunch of times. I think it was this guy. A really nice streak here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 in a row. I think that might be my high win streak, actually. I took this guy 7-0 yesterday, but really he won. He won like 4 of those games. I think I mentioned that in the video. And then, yeah, there's a game where I won as black. Yeah, here's this, okay, so I found this game here. I've been playing this Fischer defense against the King's Gambit, which is, there's a nice video series on the Sean G. Godley YouTube channel where he goes over Bobby Fischer's article, A Bust of the King's Gambit, and he does it in a few parts, so you can try to follow the lines. It's a lot to follow in the beginning, and I can't remember a lot of the winning moves in the middle, but I know the opening first few moves. And a lot of times you get a position like this where, before we look at the h4 move, where let's just say if some of the normal moves are like d4, and then you play bishop g7, and then a lot of times white will play just c3 just to shore up this pawn, because sometimes black can come in with check and grab it, depending on where the pieces are and everything. And then actually black can play knight e7 and then just castle kingside. So a lot of times it'll be something like, okay, d4, bishop g7, c3, knight e7, and then white will put immediate pressure with something like queen b3, which is threatening this diagonal, but then black just castles, so the rook protects it for then. And then, it's usually you're up a pawn, and if you can manage to not get mated, then you're doing pretty well. And a lot of times you can place your pieces in a pretty good way where you get some trades. It is easy to lose games too, just because the lines are so sharp. One of the sharp lines against these g5 lines is a quick h4, and that's what he played. So sometimes it even comes before castling, but here I think it's more accurate. And yeah, I mean, this is still losing. I mean, usually white will retreat the knight first, and this is another reason why d4 should be played first, I think, because then it allows the recapture with the bishop on this pawn once it loosens up. But this was a weird idea. I mean, I think he just miscalculated that I was going to be able to take back here, because he thought he was going to get immediate pressure with 3 pieces on f7, and he just didn't see this here. So this sacrifice is just totally wrong. So I mean, a lot of times it works in the King's Gambit, but it just doesn't work here. So I could have also gone the other way with the king, but I just saw that I was going to be able to put my knight here, and then I have this sort of really weird but pretty resilient fortress that lasts a while. So he does get a pawn finally. So what is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? So he's got 2 pawns now, but for 2 pieces. So I've got enough pieces here to defend, and I can always give some material back if I want to, although I ended up not having to in this game. So I just bounce his queen around a bunch of times, and yeah, he ends up moving his queen quite a bit in this game. I didn't find the most accurate way, but this was kind of a cool move. So it threatens the rook, it's protected by the bishop, and I'm getting my pieces just more aggressively placed. So this was pretty crazy. So threatening mate, and then I had this cool continuation here. Where is it? Yeah, here. So this is where I got kind of this cool mating little knight here. And take with the knight, and then there's a mate. And I was able to find this. So after he blocks with the queen, then taking it this way. So this is sort of this queen mating protected by the knight that I was referring to in the other video. I mean, it's a totally different pattern, obviously, and this game was kind of a joke. But I mean, hey, if I had made the wrong move somewhere, I probably could have been lost. But if you're willing to play sort of a defensive game, you can usually get a winning game, even sort of a winning end game. But it's hard to play this Fischer defense, but it's technically supposed to be winning in almost all positions if you play accurately. So maybe it's a good exercise and good technical play. Of course, Fischer was such a good technical player, so I guess that's why he recommended it. But yeah, it was kind of interesting. Yeah, he played. We had 29 moves in this game. Let's see how many queen moves he played. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So basically 50% of his moves were queen moves. So it's kind of fitting that his last move is a queen move and just gets smoked with it. So pretty cool here. I love beating the King's Gambit. There's something extra sweet about it. Okay, well, hopefully you enjoyed these videos, and I'll see you around.